What's up, everybody, to a special edition of Riverman, don't shoot me, and Aaron, our Tuesday flashback show we've been doing where we talk about, anything of nostalgia, anything that we dig, anything that can sort of be rooted to our friendship or just growing up in general. We like to keep it pretty loosey-goosey, and this one's special because if you can't already tell from our aesthetic, this is our Thanksgiving episode. And it was kind of unintentional to be our Thanksgiving episode because as of this live, which by the way, if you guys are watching this in post, you guys are watching it a week late, which is great. But if you guys want to catch these live, if you notice on the banner right there, it says new episodes stream live Tuesdays at 8 p.m. CST. That's on both YouTube and twitch.tv/Revival House. But as of this live recording, it is Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So, Riverman and I, we had another topic lined up, and for 2 weeks we've passed on it because it's just a hard topic.
Yeah, a lot of research.
But we were going to tackle films that we just really despised, like movies that we felt like deserved 0 or 1 stars, which is hard to do. And you know what? I mean, not only is it kind of hard, I just, in the wake of the recent news with Jason David Frank passing away, I just didn't want to do anything negative, right? And I didn't want to talk about hating anything or not liking anything. I wanted to be positive. And then it all kind of lined up with Thanksgiving. And I'm like, you know what? It's a perfect opportunity to do the opposite and just show a little gratitude. So I thought what we could do is just list off. There's no rules here, man. Whatever. I asked Todd to come up with 5, 10, whatever he wanted to, things that he was grateful for. I don't care what it is. It could be something very broad. It could be something very small. It could be something trivial to most. It could be something very common to most. It doesn't matter. And whatever it is that we go back and forth that we want to acknowledge, we could easily transition into a conversation about. So, and you know what? Usually at the first part of these shows, we talk about things we've maybe acquired since last we spoke, things we've watched. I don't want to talk about possessions. I don't want to talk about stuff we've gotten. That's me personally. We could talk about anything you've watched. I don't mind doing that. I know I have a couple of things before we get into the meat of the topic. But what have you watched lately?
Oh God.
Nothing.
Yeah, so I've been watching a whole lot. I've been rewatching stuff with my kid for Thanksgiving. We watched Christmas Story last night. He saw it for the first time. He really enjoyed it. So, because we wanted to watch the new Christmas Story on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're saving that for tomorrow night. And I haven't looked at reviews. I watched like 10 seconds of the trailer. Looked dumb, but I don't know. My kid might like it. So.
All I know about it is I was reading some stuff online and people were like, the general consensus was that people were surprised at how good it was.
Really?
That's just kind of what I was saying. And then my mother actually watched it and she said it was good.
Okay.
So, and I saw it passing by a little bit and it looked quality. Like I was surprised at how good it looked. Like it obviously looked modern, but it still looked like the original. Like they tapped into the aesthetic and the way the original felt, at least from what I could see. So, I'll watch it eventually.
Yeah, and I'll be partaking in some more. I have, of course, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles on the docket, and then Grumpy Old Men. I'll watch that one too because that's a.
I really like that first movie.
Yeah, it's great.
The second one's okay. The first one's trumps it.
Oh, it's hysterical. So, that's gonna be my week. Like basically, I've been off all this week, been cleaning house, and my kid's been helping me clean garages and sheds and trying to get everything ready for the big winter coming. So I had to get my snow blower ready I freaking hate winter so bad, dude. Like I envy you in Arizona. They don't have to deal with this crap anymore. But yeah, basically I've been getting everything ready for the winter, getting new stuff for the cars and getting all that shit ready. The cars ready. I got to get new tires for the wife. My wife's birthday's Friday, so I get celebrating that. And Thanksgiving Thursday.
Love to wrap some chains around you. What? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Arizona is rad. I wear this beanie as a fashion statement, not because I have to. let me see what the temperature is right now. I actually love this time of year, man. The temperature here in Arizona at 7:40 local time is 59 degrees. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's great.
It's crisp, you know.
Absolutely.
I'll go out wearing like a light jacket, a beanie. I love it, man. And so, um,
No, and I think Thanksgiving is probably one of my favorite holidays. I love Thanksgiving. I know you love Christmas. Christmas is fine, but Thanksgiving's great. I love the food. I love the, meeting with family, drinking with family, watching football all day and taking naps. And I just something about Thanksgiving because you have that Thursday, you usually have Friday. Like I took Friday off, and usually I have that off, and then the rest of the
usually
weekend.
have Friday. I do not this year, and it's kind of
Oh, you
ruffled
don't?
my feathers. But I take Christmas off, so I like Christmas. I don't. Thanksgiving is great. It kind of comes and goes for me. I just like everything about Christmas. And dude, it's almost sacrilege. I know it's kind of hip for people in our circles to be like, oh, Halloween, and Halloween should, Christmas comes too early. Stop, taking down your Halloween decor. I probably like Christmas better than Halloween, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I,
And
I think I like Thanksgiving better than Halloween. I like the build up to Halloween. I don't
well,
Halloween
that's
itself really doesn't
anything.
do
I
it for
like,
me.
yeah, I like the season. It's just, it's not even so much Christmas Day. It's the season. I like Christmas because I like the season. I like the weather gets peak here. And I genuinely like buying gifts. Me and the lady, I like going like this weekend. We're gonna go out and go to the mall and buy some probably gifts for her mom and stuff like that. I enjoy it. I kind of
Mhm.
like going out and seeing the places that are decorated and playing the Christmas music. I know it's kind of cringe. Like I said, I feel like I'm supposed to be like anti-establishment punk rock and like, oh, I don't want to hear that stuff. But I'm kind of a sappy sucker for it, man. Like I don't want to hear Mariah Carey, but I like hearing Nat King Cole and I like hearing Bing Crosby. I like it, man, because it's only one time a year that stuff flies, and it's kind of
No,
special.
absolutely. No, and that's why I like Black Friday. Growing up, especially with my mom, used to go out with her to, like Best Buy and stuff, and a local furniture mart store. Get there like probably at midnight and stay there for 6 hours till it opens. Getting
Hmm.
the shitty TVs that are $100 and break all the time, but they're
Yeah,
still cool. I mean, I
that
still
are that are manufactured just for Black Friday. By the
yeah
way, they're
yeah.
like special models that, yeah, they're trash,
I
but
bought quite a few that have broken pretty quickly, but that was probably 20 years ago.
and
So
I have fond memories of that too, because my mom would go out and we'd go out and I liked it. It was fun. And I don't know why it was fun because it was madness.
yeah.
But it was just the event of it, like, oh, I want to get these movies or I want to get this, I want to get that. And I think it was just spending time with people. That was probably it. But with that said, I don't want to do it today. I'm glad
No,
I'm
no,
glad
no.
we're in the era of the Black Friday tends to last all month long now, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of online because I don't know, man. I live somewhere where snowbirds travel and live in the winter, and the more I can avoid that traffic, the better, man. I'm always like
Yeah.
trying to protect my life, dude. Every time I go out on the road, man. But
No, absolutely. I understand that.
well, let me kind of just see what I've been watching really quick, and then we'll talk about what we're grateful for because I feel like we were starting to scratch that itch a little bit. So before we get there, I what did I watch here? First thing that comes to mind, I watched American Heart. I was going, slowly but surely, I am knocking out that Eddie Furlong exploitation. Now, have you seen that American Heart? It's with Jeff Bridges. And it stars Jeff
No.
Bridges and Eddie Furlong, and Eddie Furlong plays his son. Jeff Bridges is just getting out of prison, and Eddie Furlong is basically tagging along with him, even though he's reluctant because he wants him in his life, and it's just this drama movie. But I think it was Eddie's first movie, I do believe, that came out after T2. But it came out the same year as Pet Cemetery 2.
Hmm.
But which I think my bad. I think Pet Cemetery 2 came out right after T2. That was his next movie. But if you look at American Heart, I swear to you, Edward Furlong looks younger than Pet Cemetery 2. So I wouldn't be surprised if he, had that spurt and it was filmed a little before. But it
Hmm.
was good. It was solid. Jeff Bridges is great. And I watched while you were sleeping because sometimes I get roped into watching rom coms.
Yeah, I don't mind.
And I like,
Occasionally, I don't mind.
and While You Were Sleeping was actually pretty cool, and it actually turned out to be a Christmas movie, and it's got Bill Pullman, who's delightful. I wish he would act a little
I
more.
think I've seen that movie.
Yeah, I like Bill Pullman. And then I watched a short film. It was Paul Thomas Anderson's short film Cigarettes and Coffee, the one that kind of put him on the map and got the cans. And then it was all right. I often wonder, I guess I don't know enough about PT Anderson because this is a short film he did in like 92. And he was really young when he did Boogie Nights. So he was basically a kid when he did this, but he's got some actors in it. And I'm like, how did he get these people, Miguel Ferrer and stuff like that? They're all like character actors,
Hmm.
right? But they're all faces, I'm like, how does he get these guys in this? Was he like a Hollywood brat and he like had connections or what? But I don't know. I watched speaking of Christmas movies, I watched Surviving Christmas with Ben Affleck. it, you know, I heard terrible things about it back in the day, but it ain't nearly as bad as some of the Christmas movies I've seen. It was
Well, it's probably better than all the Home Alone sequels that I had to watch
Yeah,
last
it
year.
wasn't bad. The story itself was just outlandish and improbable, but suspend your disbelief. It was all right. It was a 6 out of 10. And then I finally watched the Weird Al Yankovic story, right? That
Mhm.
Daniel Radcliffe starring
Yeah.
biopic that's on Roku app, Roku TV. And that was a good time. That was at least a 7 out of 10, man. It was really funny, and it was kind of a biopic, but not really. It was basically taking the piss out on all those music biopics like the Queen and stuff like that. So he was telling a very embellished story of his life. And it was pretty funny, man. There's this pool scene in the 80s where there's all these like different actors playing all these who's who of 80s people. They're all at this party. You got Pee Wee Herman, you've got a lot of cool like celebrity cameos in this movie too. So definitely worth a watch. And then lastly, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. I had finally
Oh,
watched
okay.
that.
How was
Yeah,
that?
and it was good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I know a lot of people really, really put it highly up there, like giving it tens and stuff. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was just a little too long. I mean, this movie, I think it was like 2.5 hours. And I felt like the last half hour, especially, started feeling a little long. But with that said, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Like,
Yeah.
because if anybody deserves like an Academy Award, it's the editor of this dang movie. Because it's 2.5 hours of just craziness, which you might think might get a little exhausting at 2.5 hours, but it's definitely worth a watch. And you know, I really do like the actors in it. I like Short Round, right? I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Michelle Yeoh's awesome. So I appreciate everything about it. That's all I've watched.
I do have one more. I'm
You
sorry.
do
I
have one more.
forgot.
I didn't mean to take it over. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No, no. Ever since you just said that movie, I just thought I finally watched Pearl. So I got the
Oh,
pre-order like last week, and I watched it. I thought it was awesome, dude. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but
I haven't seen it
uh,
yet. How does it stack up against X?
I think it's just as good. I
Hmm.
gave it the same score as X. It's totally different, um, but it's like very unique. I mean, it's something you don't see nowadays. I mean, it's like what Technicolor and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
And Mia Goth is awesome in this, and it was just a really cool movie. I wouldn't really consider it horror. I would consider it more, Norman Bates psychological thriller type of stuff. But
Hey,
it
that's
was
cool.
really good, man. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I like the fact that it's different from X because it's like I don't know if it was a sequel to X or for it being a prequel. It's since it's two different movies. It's just like I don't know. I think it's more fun. It's more rewatchable um, than if it was a standard prequel to it.
Now, did
So
this one do as well as far as profit as the first one? Because I feel
I
like it
don't
was
think it
I,
did.
I feel like it was not talked about as much. And hopefully that doesn't mean that the third one's not going to go to theater. If only it did as well as Terrifier 2, which
Yeah.
is just making bank.
Oh
But
yeah.
regardless, it's such a great time for horror right now. And it doesn't matter at this point. Like even if a horror movie comes out and even if it's like Blumhouse or whatever, I'm here for it. I don't care if it's Blumhouse or even the shitty Halloween sequels. Dude, the more horror that's doing good at, because we live in an era right now where if it's not owned by Disney, it ain't succeeding and it's barely getting it's not even getting into theaters. So the fact that Terrifier had a release and these Ty West movies are getting releases and they're making profit. Like, it didn't Terrifier didn't it pass like $10 million a couple weeks ago? It's probably more than that. And it was on a budget of like what? Quarter mil?
Yeah, it did.
Or
It did pretty
something.
well. I know.
That's insanely well. So I think, yeah, sorry, Plumkeys. I tell that to Lightyear. Lightyear just wasn't a good movie, man. That was just really phoned in. But regardless, though, I mean, I'm looking forward to a tide coming in and just a shift in just, you know, the movie universe, because it's getting pretty old. I mean, on one hand, I want theaters to survive,
They won't.
but on the same token, it's like what's keeping them alive? The enemy, Disney. And it's like, basically, I want my cake and eat it too. I want theaters to thrive on the $50 million blockbuster. Why can't we have $50 million movies, $20 million movies anymore? And I just think it's maybe a thing of the past. And I would be fine with that, to be honest with you. With all that good stuff going to streamers, but now we have another problem. Now it's just the stream wars. Now it's just like they're all so concerned with just filling up their servers with content. They don't want movies, they don't want show, they want content. They don't care what it is, they just want content. And it's like, we just have too much shit now.
Top Gun 2 is pretty much the only thing that saved it for a handful more years, and then I think it's completely dead.
I don't know.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, roll with the tide. Whatever happens, people should roll with it. The industry should roll with it. I think small indie theaters will probably always exist.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah,
right. And maybe
I'm talking about the AMC's and the B&Gs and all those.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of a bummer. But if that's all you had, let's roll into it. Are you ready to talk about some stuff we're grateful for? Did you make yourself a list? Okay.
Yeah, I have some off the top of my head. I got some stuff.
And everybody in the chat, let us know, man, what you think. And if there's anything you guys are grateful for, you want to bring up, and we can bring up, we'll talk about it, because I want to be positive, man. We live in a world where the theme here is, I fully acknowledge that some people might feel a certain way about the holidays, which we are coming up on. The holidays are impending. But I know for everybody that feels a certain good way about the holidays, there's probably 5 people that feel not so good about the holidays. I know what it's like to feel lonely on the holidays. I know what it's like to not have anybody around on the holidays. And let's just take a second and be grateful for the stuff we got, because it's so easy to focus on the bad, right?
Absolutely.
So did you want to start, or do you want
me to
start?
I'll give it to you.
So I made a list of things. They're kind of varied all over the place, but the obvious thing I'll start off with, because I'd probably get shot if I didn't say it. I'm grateful for my lady Eva. I think she's wonderful, and I think honestly, I was thinking, I don't even know if I know how to be independent anymore. Like, dude, I used to do all my laundry. I used to do all my scheduling. I used to do everything. And she's so good at like managing my life that I don't know what I would do anymore. I probably have forgotten how to do stuff, to be honest with you. I forgot how to clean a house. I probably forgot how to do but she keeps me from going crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I my head would fall off. And I lose everything. I never used to, man. It's great. It's great to have that person that, you know what I mean? It's great to have that person where it's like, where's I don't know where this is, and they know exactly where it is. It's over here. It's in there. It's on there. It's on the shelf over there. It's like, oh, it's great. But I don't know. Very, very simple, very easy, starting off easy. But I'm grateful that I don't have to spend the holidays alone. That's pretty basic.
Yeah, kind of echoing. Yeah, mine would be, of course, my wife and kids. I met my wife probably back in 2005. Was that 2005? So we've been together for a long time, and married since 2012, I believe. So 10 years almost. But yeah, 2 boys. So that's all I wanted. I wanted boys. So God, I'm happy about that. I have 5 brothers, so I just wanted boys in the house. And man, it's great. It's a lot of fun. They're fucking exhausting as hell, dude. Kids are so exhausting, but it's definitely rewarding. It's great. I enjoy spending time with them, but I also enjoy my alone time too. So You just got to kind of figure out the balance. Takes a while, but no, it's fantastic, man. I love it, but very very stressful all the time. But that's the way life is, right?
Yeah, you probably appreciate your free time more when you get it.
Absolutely, 100%.
You know, because you don't. There's not a minute wasted. I mean, even me on a smaller scale, I don't have children or anything like that yet. But even like with my life, tending to people, and I've got dude. I mean, even me, like when I'm working all the time. Anytime I have to carve out little spaces in the night or whatever, just to have. Usually it comes at the sacrifice of sleep time, but
Oh yeah,
I'm at that stage of
that's
my
a
life
given.
where it's like I'm gonna sacrifice an hour or two of sleep and run on fumes so I can watch a movie by myself or something while at the end of the night, because there's no time during the day or even the night when
No,
everybody's awake. It's pretty much when everybody's asleep and no other like responsibilities need to be tended to. I'm kind of I have to sacrifice sleep time, and so no,
yeah.
I get it, man.
I get
Eh,
8 to midnight, and then I get up at 6 in the morning. So yeah, I sacrifice. I don't care. I don't care about sleep. I take naps on the weekends for maybe an hour, so
Yeah, I was
I'm
about to
good.
say, you know what? It hits me on Friday nights is when I
Yeah,
get hit with it.
yeah,
And it sucks because I end up falling asleep really early on Friday, which is the night I should be like really excited about. But no, dude, I'm drained. And you know what? I think those couple hours to watch a movie or whatever, just kind of unwind, to write, to decompress, I actually like it more on the weekdays. It
yeah.
just serves a better purpose. It breaks up the monotony of the work week, and it helps keep me level. And yeah, it also makes it to where I kind of even look forward to work days sometimes, because probably too, weekends. That's actually when you're like, for me, I'm more busy
It's more
because
stressful on the weekends for me too.
yeah, it's like the weekends aren't really about party hardy anymore or whatever. It's not even when I was like a single bachelor when I was like 19. Oh, the weekend, man, I could just like stay in my house and play Final Fantasy 7 all day and eat Totino's pizza rolls. No, Saturday is the time I spend with the lady, and we go to Costco, we run errands. I got to go to the mechanic drop off my car Saturday. We got to go Christmas shop. And I love all that stuff. I'm not saying that's not good, but like actually I have the least time for just me.
There's
So
no week. There's no weekends, especially when you have kids. It's like you got to entertain them till they go to bed. So
yeah, weekends are a myth.
yeah,
Anyway, and I could even roll the next one in. I wrote, like I said, I was just kind of freely writing what was top of my head. This sounds stupid too, but I'm grateful for my dog. I was never a pet person till,
no, yeah,
till
you
I had
never
my
were. No,
my recent dog that I got a few years ago. Which, by the way, who convinced me to get Eva? Right? It wouldn't have been my choice ever, but she's like, yeah, okay, we'll get a dog. And it was one of those things where, okay, but it's your responsibility. I'm not taking care. It was like a kid or something. But no, I love this dog, and now I think I love this dog more than anybody. And we own dogs growing up here and there, and I don't know. I just never had my dog, and I never bonded with a dog. But I love this dog, and it's funny because at first when I had this dog, it was weird because Eva will go to work and I work from home, and I even kind of feel like it was kind of nice to have my time alone in the house. Like when I work, it's like the house is empty. To me, I kind of look forward to working, and it kind of keeps everything balanced. And then, but then I had a dog, and it's like, and
yeah,
even that was kind of weird, dipping my toes into less free time, because it's like, well, I'm no longer alone now. I got a dog is following me everywhere, and he wants to go out, and I got to take him out 3 times. I got to feed him, but now I could not imagine. I can't believe I lived alone for so long. I can't believe it,
mhm,
dude. I mean, because and now my mom lives here, right? And so all of that takes getting used to. But yeah, I mean, 5 years ago, I lived alone for many years, and I was very happy living in my own space and just kinda going out when I wanted to go out, and I don't even know what dude, if everybody vanished right now and I had this whole house to myself, I'd probably be like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone for a second. "I'm free!" Jump on the
yeah,
beds for, like,
yeah.
2 seconds, and I'd be like, "I'm bored." Like, it's too quiet. What's going on? So, it's probably just preparing me for down the road when kids come into the picture, so
No, absolutely.
how is your dog, by the way?
She's doing good. She's passed out on her bed over there, and yeah, still getting her shots every 6 months, and she has bad skin, so we got to drop like $200 on shots every 6 months, but it's worth it. I don't really care. So
Yeah,
my
that's not too
glasses
bad.
keep fogging up.
Plumpy, I want to
So
give you a shout out, man. He says
yeah,
he's grateful to have a roof over his head, a caring family, and all that good stuff. That's true, man. Not everybody's got a family, even so, or one that cares. So, and as long as you have somewhere to hang your head, it's easy to get hung up on the stuff we don't have. But it's easy
no,
to forget that
absolutely,
some people are living outside their cars or living on a park bench, and have families that disown them, or just don't have families. Period. And you know what I mean.
absolutely. I
It's
mean,
a rough
hard
life,
times
dude.
right now,
And
especially.
yeah, especially. And the fact of the matter is the world's not fair. Everybody's handed a different hand to play with,
Yep.
and you just gotta take with what you got and make the most out of it. And you can't get too hung up that life isn't fair. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people.
Absolutely.
There's always going to be. There's always going to be the Kim Kardashians of the world that tell you to work your ass like you're lazy. Like, yeah, okay. Kim Kardashian came from, I get it. We all get it. She came from a famous rich family with a Hollywood lawyer. She had a pretty good platform to start on. And not everybody has equal platforms. But I mean, really, I think it's that old saying, if you aim for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll be amongst the stars. And I think that means if you try your hardest and you really keep your convictions, you will be successful to some degree. You're not going to get everything you want in the world. I mean, nobody really does.
Was that a Casey Kasem quote?
Sounds like it could be.
Keep reaching
Oh,
for this. That was some Saved by the Bell.
do the sprain. Yeah, everybody do the sprain. Yeah, but you know what though? Plum keeps saying there's always going to be people that are born rich and lazy. But I don't think money and all that stuff in background make the person, because
No.
God forbid if I won the lottery tomorrow and then I had kids and grandkids that grew up to be very rich, because everybody would love to have generational wealth to take care of,
Yeah.
what comes after you, of course, but it's how you raise them. So like, I wouldn't want anybody, if I was poor on the streets, I wouldn't want people to put their nose up at me. But also, if I had money, I would want people to look down on me either. You know what I mean? So it has nothing to do with that. But anyway, did I interrupt you? What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to get into my next one.
Go ahead.
Mine would be like-minded friends. So I have
I
like
thought you were going to say like Mike. I love that movie, Like Mike.
No.
Like Mike.
Like-minded friends. So I have like a handful of buddies. I have my movie buddies here. I have my football buddies where we watch football and stuff. Then I have my tech nerd buddies from work. So basically, I kind of jump around like what I'm feeling that day. If I'm feeling like I'm in a movie mood, if I feel like I want to talk about work, if I want to feel like I want to talk about football, I can jump into these groups and just bullshit with them because it's hard to find people that have like all your same interests. So it's just nice to have like, a group of friends that like different things. So I don't know. I love that. I love coming on here. It's an outlet, talking to you guys, seeing what movies are worth a shit. And man, I really dig it. So it really it keeps me going. Let's just say that. If I didn't have wife and kids, it'd be my passions to keep me going. So
I thought you were gonna be like, I got this group of friends over here that like football. I like going to this group of friends, they can talk about movies. I got that group of buddies where we all get together at those sex parties and all jerk off in a room together in the dark.
No, no,
those weird kinky parties. No, that's good too. I guess I can. Well, I guess I'll kind of segue. I'll take a piece of what you said and I'll move into my next one. I'm thankful for the podcasting, not just this one in particular.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for, because I'm thankful that Todd invited me to do it with him and Nate 11, 12, whatever it was, years ago, tons of years ago, because it has become an outlet. It has become a great outlet. It's obviously not about money, because we don't make any money. We're over here talking about having holidays off.
This is all for fun. Yeah.
And it's not about being famous or getting droves and droves of listeners. And I mean, would we love to have a million of great people like all you guys? Of course, but no, man. See, that's something I think I've always been grateful of, because you have a lot of people that start podcasts or start YouTube channels because they want to be influencers and they want to be a big YouTuber. I think if you polled any like middle school about guidance counselor day and stuff like that, what do you want to be? I think there have been these studies, these polls where an alarming amount of kids want to be influencers or YouTubers. And not that there's anything wrong with that. I just, it's just the times. But
My
I,
son's friend who's 5 said he wants to be a YouTube influencer. What does that tell
that's
you?
dude, that's just the times. I totally get it, because these people that watch these YouTubers, that's like me watching Pee Wee Herman. Or
Yeah.
these are celebrities, like these TikTokers, these YouTubers. These are big stars to kids, dude. They Mick Jagger could be walking by, and then you could have Mr.
Would
Beast
be.
walking by,
Yeah.
and kids don't give a fuck about Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
And that's just the sign of the times. But I'm saying you have a lot of people that try it like anything else, and when they don't find success quickly, or it's very slowly, or they just they get smoked out of it and they quit. They quit after a month. They quit after most podcasts don't make it 2 episodes in. And I don't know. I've always been grateful for the audience we have. Like,
Oh,
our growth has
absolutely.
always been really slow and steady, but it's fine. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
totally cool, man. I'm so happy when people discover us, and because these cool chats are really awesome. I like the people that show up in our chats, and I can address all. It's totally cool, man. That's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like complaining about what you don't have and your family gets pissed off. It's like, hey man, we're right here.
Yeah,
Like, what are we,
absolutely.
chopped liver? And you guys aren't chopped liver. And like Todd was saying, it's therapy, man. And especially these. I love doing these Tuesday episodes. I'm real happy that we kind of started doing these, because I don't know what it is. It's not like doing commentaries is work or anything like that, but just bullshitting and talking is really cool. Maybe because we could talk about different stuff. It's kind of nice to not have to talk about a certain movie, and you have to be in the zone, you have to be in the mood to talk about whatever somebody cooks. I don't know, I really like it, and it's really cool to reconnect and talk about some of the stuff that, because me and Todd always have these types of conversations, they're just always on the phone or something.
Yeah.
So that stuff always carries on. But I'm really grateful for the podcast. I'm really grateful for the listenership we have, and grateful for all the Revival House family. So thank you guys for sticking along with us.
Oh,
Thank
my
Todd
next.
BBB for the pork.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh God. Now it's starting to get tough for me. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
No,
really?
no, no, no. I'm just kidding. No,
He
I'm great.
literally tapped out at friends and family.
I'm just kidding. No, no, it would have to be work. So I've been I went to college for IT, and I got a job out of college. Um in my company that I wasn't actually looking for an IT job, and I moved around several times after that, but grateful for the people that gave me a shot. Let's just say that. So yeah, I've been in the IT field for like what 12 years now, and man, I love it. I never thought I would. I went so basically I went to community college for audio video communications, and I was getting a lot of freelance videography jobs. I did wedding videography. I did baseball games. I did everything under the sun that was on the weekends, and shit that nobody wanted to ever do. And then 2008, the housing crisis pretty much fucked everybody's job up, and the creative field just took a giant dump, and everybody got laid off around, and you couldn't find any jobs around here. I didn't want to move to a big city like the coast or anything like that, so I changed my major. I went back for IT, got my bachelor's in IT, and then fell in love with that. So ever since then, I just love learning. So it's fun to be able to learn on the job too. I really very thankful for working and having a job, because not jobs are tough to hold, man. I understand. I've been fired before. I've been laid off and quit jobs. So I would have to say work.
Yeah, that's good. And that's something I think a lot of people take for granted is steady income.
Yeah,
It's easy to fall into the trap of just complaining about your job like nonstop.
absolutely.
I do
Yeah.
too. I fall in that trap too, but and it's really only just been recently in the last year, actually since COVID, my job has been doing the morale at my company has been real low because they've been doing all sorts of changes ever since COVID. So it's really frustrating. But I keep having to remind myself that even with all the shortcomings and the compromises and the changes to what we once had, I'm still in a better position than most. And I'm still not doing what I used to do. I used to work in hospitality, man. And for 10 years, I
Yeah.
waited tables, cooked, I did all that stuff. And while those jobs can be fun if you have the right atmosphere, it's hard work, man. Like, being on your feet so much. And it's, I guess, depending on where you're doing it, you're underpaid, unless you're working at a real hot part of town in a big city or Las Vegas. Yeah, you could be a bartender in Vegas. First of all, those jobs are hard to get. You
Yeah.
try going
Yeah.
getting a bartending job at a hot nightclub in Vegas, you better have a big D cup, set of D cups on you, and better, what I mean? They're just hard to get. But yeah, those kind of jobs, man, you make $1,000, $1,500, $3,000 a night, and you work 1, 2, 3 nights a week max. Yeah, that's awesome.
No, and I
Um,
spent 12 years working in a grocery store and pretty much working 40 hours, going to college at the same time, making shit at the grocery store, unloading trucks and stuff like that. So, man,
yeah,
I've, and then I, got into, more physical labor too. And that wasn't for me. So it's, find something you're passionate about. If it interests you, you might end up loving it down the road even more. So,
yeah. And you know what? I guess not planned, but I'm grateful to have ambitions. I think that's what I'm. I'm not somebody that wants to be content. I think there's a beautiful thing in anybody that is very comfortable and they like comfortable. They like to be comfortable. They like their life. They like being in a place where they can afford to do what makes them happy and, satisfy their hobbies and take care of their families and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm also grateful for ambition and to not want to be stuck at a place I don't want to be at. Like I want to go higher. I want to go other places. Because I wouldn't say that I'm grateful for my job. I wouldn't say I'm fulfilled at my job. Like
yeah.
I'm not passionate about the world of banking,
Hmm.
you know, necessarily. But I'm glad that, I'm not an old man. Like I'm not 90 years old trying to change things up and change careers and go after a dream or something like that. I don't know. Like for example, like I've made it my mission. Dude, there's been so many pitfalls and struggles with trying to do something with film in the last few years. But at the end of the day, I could blame COVIDs, I could blame whatever else, but it's all excuses, like there's so
Yeah.
many hurdles. Everybody's got to get around hurdles. And sometimes you just got to do it,
Hmm.
regardless of what you have or what you don't have. So this coming year, I've made it my mission to get a short film that I've already got a script for off the ground. And, I'm hitting the ground running on that. And I don't care. It's just like, even if it doesn't come out the way I want it to, it's going to get made. Right.
Hmm.
And hopefully it'll lead to bigger and better things. Or if not, it's going to be some cool experience. And I'm going to be doing something I've never thought I never wanted to be a director. I love to write, but I'm going to direct this thing. I'm taking it all on, putting on all the hats, and I'm just jumping into it for better or worse. Even if I fail, I don't care, man. Even if I do it, I'm like, I don't want to do that ever again. Because, or hopefully I'll love it and I'll be like, what, wasn't that bad. I'm ready to do the feature now because, so I'm trying to get all that, together. I'm still fine tuning the script. I'm getting the ball rolling on talking to some people, some local talent, some local crew guys. You can do it. There's a lot of people, I know I can do it. And, you know, I'll tell you one thing. I spent years trying to learn the art of actually writing feature length stuff. And that's an experience and that takes time to really, because I think when you start writing, it's not long enough. It's like, oh, how do you turn this into actual feature? Now it's like a whole different ball game where it's like, hey, you have this idea for a feature, now make it a proof of concept. You need to make this not only a short, if you want it to be a potential for film festivals, the shorter the better, right? It's like stuff that's like 10 minutes best. You want to make something that's 30 minutes, it's going to be a little tougher. But it's like you're thinking about money. It's like, well, how do I take this idea that I have that I really like and I compress it down? And it's like, well, budget. It's like, well, okay, I got to compress down this far. This will take me 4 days to film. Too expensive because you got to hire this many people. Every day's money. Every day you got to pay everybody. And oh, you have how many locations? No. It's like, how do I get this thing down to like 2 locations max? And how do I get this thing done in a weekend? Right. So it's pretty tough. But here's to ambitions. Plemke, what are you saying? The Troma experience? Exactly. No, I don't know. Don't know if I would do Troma, man. I don't think I'd be on brand with Troma.
Why not?
I don't know, but I don't know. But one thing I'll roll into that I'm grateful for, and this one's pretty deep. I think I've talked about this. Anybody that listened to the deep end back in the day, I haven't done those in a long time, but I'm going to roll these into one. I'm grateful for both my dad and my sister, who have both since passed. Now, I'm grateful for my dad because while we had a tumultuous relationship, I'm grateful at the end of the day that I had an example of what not to be in a lot of cases. So I was smart enough. I'm thankful I have a brain, and I always had some level of maturity about me. But I was able to look at an example right in front of me and use that as a barometer of okay, well, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. And what would Jesus do? Sometimes I'm like, what would my dad do?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to do the opposite, and it's actually served me pretty good in a lot of ways, but it's a blessing in disguise. I had this guy that, made a lot of mistakes. God bless him. And at the end of the day, the silver lining was I got to learn vicariously through him. He made the mistakes so I didn't have to.
Mhm.
So I'm actually really grateful for that. And my little sister, she passed away. My dad and sister passed away about a year apart. And my little sister was 3. They both died of different kinds of cancers. And my sister, on the other side, she taught me to not take life and time for granted. And granted, like a rock. Granted, I'm bad. I always say granted. Uh, because it's a heavy dose of reality when you get to witness somebody that turns 3 years old living in a children's hospital, right? And she doesn't
Yeah.
make it to C4, and I remember seeing her, and she didn't know any better. At that point, she didn't know anything different. And talk about just loving people unconditionally. It's like she was like every other normal kid. She loved her family. She liked her friends that she made at the hospital. I don't think while she had to grow up really fast, obviously, for a toddler, I don't think she had these great concepts of life and death. It's simple. You like your brothers, you like your sisters, you love your mom and your dad. You appreciate when dad brings you home lasagna. You appreciate
Yeah.
getting to watch Hannah Montana or whatever. And basically, her passing away, that's actually what springboarded me traveling. And she just taught me to not be scared, because I was always somebody that I was afraid to leave my city a lot of times. Like, it's like much less the country. And I never branched out. I didn't even see the country, our own country at the time. And so I just took the bull by the horns, and I just dropped myself off. And I started off in the UK, not knowing anybody. And I put myself in a situation to get uncomfortable, right? Because I was in my comfort zone. I don't think I liked talking to strangers. I didn't like, but I figured if I put myself as a stranger in a strange land, I'm going to force myself to have to talk to strangers and get to know people and network to get around, to figure out what's up. And it did, because I didn't want to be afraid to be limited by any kind of social anxieties or anything like that. So, and by the time I was done with all that, I was cured. I think I was quite the opposite. I was quite the social butterfly, and I was good at networking. And I don't know, but anyway, she taught me to not let certain things I wanted to do hold me back because of stupid stuff, right? Because life is fleeting, right? So, because I know for a fact, if you take any kid or anybody of any age, especially a kid that's in a hospital fighting for their life, I'm sure they would gladly trade places with you, because
Yeah.
I was a kid who didn't like public speaking. I was afraid to stand up in front of a class. I didn't like to talk in front. I
I
didn't
was the
like it,
same
man.
way. Yeah.
But I always admired people that could. So I'm like, I want to conquer this. I gotta, and so it's like, can you imagine? Like, I used to think about my sister all the time. It's like she should bitch slap me. Like if I was afraid to go and just talk in front of a group or whatever. Like, God, give me the mic, like
Yeah.
you want to take this chemo? Give me the mic. So anyway, valuable lesson. I don't forget it.
Kind of piggybacking, I would say my mom as well. She died 2017 of cancer, and she had cancer for about 6 years, and basically I helped out taking her to treatments, a lot of that. We had to spend a lot of time with her after she got sick. Um, Basically, the cancer ate up her bones, so she didn't have her legs didn't work, all that. Like she was stuck in a bed, she couldn't move, she couldn't get up and do anything, and basically, how cancer goes is just so shitty. So no, just having that time, man. Getting to tell stories to each other and just bullshit. Having because I couldn't even imagine like if she was just gone like in a matter of seconds, and I could get to
Mhm.
say everything I wanted to say to her and stuff like that. But yeah, I am grateful for that time, and that's yeah, man, that sucked. But I do think it makes you have a different outlook on life, and being around a lot of cancer patients and stuff, and going to the actual hospitals, man, it's tough. But you know what? I'm glad I got to see everything I saw, and I don't know. I don't I don't hold back and regret any of that shit. So, which some of my other family members are completely different, where they didn't want to anything to do with that sort of thing, and I still hold a grudge against those people, because I think it's very fucking selfish. But at the end of the day, it's like they got to live with that, and I don't. So I'm pretty happy about that. So
Yeah, and we're not trying to be like depressing. We're not. This is all good
no,
stuff.
no, not at all.
Todd's thing is like I bet you went out with a much even better relationship with your mom, right? Than you could
Yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she was in hospice, and yeah, I pretty much held her hand before she, passed. So it was great. So
Yeah, so it's all about the good things. And just I don't know, man. Mortality.
tough.
it's a
It's
it's
tough,
a
man.
it's a fickle thing, and the older you get, the faster it goes. It feels like,
Oh
man.
God, yeah,
Like
man. Year
going
blinks
from
by.
going from 20 to 25, going from 25 to 30 is much faster. Going from 30 to 35 is even faster. I'm sure before I know it, I'll be 60, and that's a
Yeah,
scary thought. So
yeah.
my whole thing is like, I know what's coming.
hmm
I know the end is inevitably going to come for everything and everybody. I just want to be when that time comes, I just don't want to have regrets. I just want to, I don't want to be that guy that's like dying alone, that was too much of a pussy to try and even obtain anything he really wanted. So I think anybody that has reached the end of their journey, they're surrounded by loved ones and they got a lot to be proud of. And, if they can, nobody's without mistake or sin or anything like that. But, if you could be on that bed and you've got like everybody you care about that's around you, I mean, and you can honestly say, I did my best and I didn't fuck anybody over. I didn't really, I
Yeah,
did
you
my
get to
best
make
by these
amends, and
people.
absolutely, that's
That's
yeah,
that's a win, man. But
yeah,
I guess what I'll roll into too, it natural. I was talking about it before, but as a result of my sister, dude, I'm so grateful for all the traveling I did. And one of the things is it's easy for me to get hung up on. I do it all the time. Like, oh man, I wish I had more time to travel. Like, oh, my days of traveling like I did are over. Cause it is, it's like my days of traveling aren't over. I've gone on trips and I've done things but the days of me disappearing for 3, 4, 5, 6 months by myself and just being this vagabond, those are probably done, you know.
I would
But
hope so.
yeah, exactly. But it's good. Like
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I did that stuff when I did, you
Yeah.
know, when I was at the age that I was. And you know, it's funny because now maybe I'm just getting comfortable, but I was thinking about it, man. I was like, man, some of the stuff that I did, like, dude, the concept that I got a Chinese visa and I just flew into communist China and I dropped myself. I just picked a city on the map. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pick this city because it's relatively large and they have a big university. If there's an international university, that means there's going to be kids learning English from all over the world. And English is the thread that binds. That'll help me like get around. Because,
Mhm.
but the idea that I just like literally parachuted down randomly into China without knowing anybody and not having a plan, because I didn't have a plan besides, hey, I'll just go near a university, see what happens. It was nuts, and I made it all work. Like I landed in Peking. Oh, sorry, yeah, in Peking, and then I went to uh, 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 Tianjin, the city called Tianjin, because they had a international university, and I
Mhm.
literally flew there, and I'm like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna walk around the university. I didn't know where I was going. I just
Yeah.
walked around the university and dude, I got so lucky. Like, dude, I was walking around the university for 5 minutes and literally a bunch of like Chinese kids that were learning English all came up to me. Oh, hello, hello, hello. They're so interested. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? And I made friends and then they took me to lunch, dude. It was great. And I asked their help. I'm like, hey, so I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm looking for a place to live. Can you guys like help me translate? Dude, within the same night, within the same day I arrived in China and Tianjin, I made a group of friends and they helped me get an apartment that I secured for like 5 months, paid in
Nice.
cash.
Mm.
So like the next day, my head is spinning and I've got a fully furnished apartment
Mhm.
watching Chinese soap operas, dude. I just, it was pretty radical. And the fact that I did that stuff, you know, in other countries too, uh, it's proof that I could do them today if I really wanted to, but also like, I can't imagine like today, the thought, like, if I was going to China by myself would be so weird. Like, I'm just so used to being around people now and, you know, not alone anymore. I can't imagine going to movies by myself, to be honest with you.
Really? I enjoy that still.
I just haven't done it. I haven't been to a movie by myself in probably 4 years,
Mm.
4.5 years, you know? I'm not saying I couldn't. That'd be easier to do than going to China by myself. But,
Mhm.
anyway, I'm grateful I got to have a lot of experiences that I'd love to talk about, like, ad nauseum sometime about some of the crazy stuff I've experienced, 'cause I've never really went into that, but I'd say a good 5 years of my life was just experiencing stuff like that, so I'm real glad I did it when I did, so, anyway, what's your next thing?
So one thing that I'm grateful for. Well, I don't know if it's considered grateful, but something I love. So I guess I consider it grateful. It's gonna sound weird. It's the smell of books.
Oh, yeah, dude.
I
That's not weird.
I you
I
know
like the
what?
smell of glue. What of it?
Walking into like a Barnes and Noble or a bookstore, and I'm not a huge reader by any means.
Yeah.
It just makes it has this like God, this aura. Like walking into that store, you just like it makes you feel like home, sort of thing. And a funny
'Cause you've been
story,
smelling books your whole life in elementary
yes,
school and yeah.
every time I go into a bookstore, I gotta take a dump. So, like, I always go into like Barnes and Noble. When I was a kid, I used to grab like magazines and books off the rack and run to the bathroom and sit in there
It's
and sit on the
disgusting, dude.
can, which you can't do anymore. I mean, I can't believe I got away with
Were they
that.
letting you do it then even, or you were just doing it?
I
Was it,
was
like,
just doing
allowed?
it. Now I'm like, I probably shouldn't be doing that. So now I get older, but yeah, the smell of books, man. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it's just it just it goes to my brain, dude, and I just want to
Oh,
be
yeah.
there. So,
I have those smells too. Well, if I could stay on the topic of books really quick, I
yeah.
don't know what it is. It's all down to what, like, the paper was made out of. Every now and a blue moon, I smell this smell again, so I know there's a common element to what they used to make the pet. But in particular, it's not all instruction booklets.
Mhm.
In particular, The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past instruction booklet from the SNES. Dude, it had a smell, and it still lives with me, and every now in a blue moon, I come across another, like, manual that's made with the same properties that
Wow.
has that smell, and whoa, and it just takes me back. and it's just so rare. I'm like, what? I wish I could just have a cologne of
Mhm.
this. But the thing that I have that's constant, and this is funny, Eva would tell you the same thing. I keep a box of Crayolas in my bedside table
Oh,
because I
really?
I, I love the smell of Crayolas, man. Dude, I
Oh.
lay in bed and I open that box and I huff it. No shit. No, I love it, dude. Dude, not
Oh, that's
I don't want
funny.
no I want none of that Rose Art bootleg shit. Rose Art can
Mhm.
suck my dick. I love Crayola, dude. There's
What's
something
Rose Art? Is that the dollar store crayons or
Rose
what?
Art was the other brand that went up
Oh,
against.
okay.
It was kind of slightly cheaper, but they were like the RC Cola to Coke.
Okay.
But that's the only two brands. It was just Crayola and Rose Art. I don't even know if Rose Art's still around, to be honest with you. But Rose
Yeah.
Art was just too waxy, didn't really have a smell. Dude, Crayola, there's something magic. It's like Coke, right? Where it's got this formula that no one else can replicate, and it's just got this smell. And I understand why Chucky Finster on Rugrats ate crayons because I kind of wish I could eat them too. I get why the LA
There's still
Beast ate
time,
crayons.
dude. Come
There's still
on.
time, dude. No, but I love the smell, and I keep a box and I huff it, dude. I do because it just takes me back. And it's kind of weird even saying this because I can only imagine like if somebody walked in on me, it'd be like Miss Libby, dude, putting the fucking paste on her face in private.
That needs to be the thumbnail or whatever. You huff and crayon boxes, dude.
Oh yeah, I gotta get a pic. Oh, I'll take a picture of me huffing crap. I'll do it, dude. And I gotta be reined in sometimes because I wanted to buy the big fucking giant Crayola box, and even he was like, "It's a smell. Get the small one." Like, yeah, you're right. I'm gonna get the smell out of the small one too. And it's got this little one I huff. And
Do you
also,
do you put it in your
go
like
ahead.
underwear drawer, dude? So your underwear smells like Crayola?
No, it's in my just side table so I can keep it close
Oh,
by.
okay.
Bad so I can huff it in bed, dude. I love it, dude. I love watching like watching my stories and huffing my crayons, my Crayolas. And a second place to Crayolas. And I also keep this on my bedside table too. Play-Doh.
Oh, really?
I love the smell of Play-Doh. And I don't play with the Play-Doh. I just keep a can, it don't cost anything. You go to the store, buy a pack of Play-Doh for a
Oh,
few
I
bucks.
know. Yeah.
And I fucking huff that shit, dude. Huff that shit. I might be getting high from it. I don't know, but it takes me back. Something about Crayolas, dude, takes me back to being a kid. It takes me back to elementary school.
I love
That's what it
those
does.
smells that brings you back, man. It's where
Nothing
it's
brings you
at.
back to elementary school like Crayolas.
Yeah.
Nothing. And just yeah, I don't know what to say. Yeah, if they still had the smelly, fruity Sharpies, remember the smelly markers?
Oh,
The
yeah.
ones that
Mhm.
and they got rid of those because it promoted sniffing markers, which is not good. But I wish I still remember what they smell like. The grape marker.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
the orange, dude.
Hey, shove 'em
The
up your nose, dude. Yeah,
oh
absolutely.
yeah, dude, shove 'em on my ass even. I don't care. Show you where those crayons are going tonight. One
Oh,
at a time.
god.
No, yeah. So we're thankful for smells that
Oh,
take us
yeah.
back.
Nostalgia,
Um,
man. That's where it's at.
oh, back. Okay, so next one for nostalgia. I'm really thankful for retro gaming. I guess I could just say all video games, but in my mind, what I consider retro gaming because when I was a kid, I wouldn't say I enjoyed my childhood very much. There was a lot of crap that was unnecessary and not fun. But video games, man, whenever I could play a video game, was an escape. And I guess I'll say this too. I'm grateful for my grandparents, my mom's side of the family, because the happiest childhood years I ever had were the couple of years on and off I lived with them, because it was for those times that we had a sense of normalcy. We lived in a nice house where we got fed 3 meals a day. We played in our playroom in the basement. My grandmother would call us up for breakfast and lunch and dinner, just like a real, June and Ward Cleaver situation, and it was great. And I don't think if we didn't have those couple of years in the middle there, I would have survived. And during those times, man, we had games, man. I got to play Street Fighter 2 in a nice toy room, dude. I just had so much fun, no cares in the world. And I loved it. I just loved getting lost and not having any responsibilities for those times. And my only job for the day was beating M Bison for the 100th time with the same care. I just there was nothing else. You didn't think about like the world. You didn't think about politics. You didn't think about. I didn't really think about. This is kind of before you even thought about what you're going to be when you grow up. You're just
Oh,
taking
yeah.
everything. You're living by the day. You're living
Mhm.
by the day, and you're just like, hey man, I might go to my buddy's house, ride bikes. Maybe I'll just stay home and play Mortal Kombat,
Mhm.
dude. If you're blessed to have any moments like that, just enjoy it, man. Like when you're a kid, Soak it up. That's, I wouldn't want my kids to grow up too fast. Just like I'd want you to be a
Yeah,
kid. Let
yeah,
me, cause soon I'm gonna know. I'm gonna know what it's like someday. You see, growing up with your friends, and you see how the parents are always stressed out, dude. I'm like, dude, you're probably that guy now, but one of these
yeah.
days I'll be that guy that just wears all the stress while they get to just live it up and play video games. And I'm taking the burden, dude, of like, well, bringing home the bacon and all that stuff and making sure they don't grow up to wear pantyhose. Uh,
I
Not that
know,
there's anything wrong
especially
with that.
no. I mean, the world we're living in now, man, it's pretty tough to keep these kids straight nowadays. Let's just say, like straight, like on the right track. Let's just say that. Not, you know what I'm saying?
They have conversion camps, Todd. That's
No, it's nothing like that. I
I'm
mean,
just kidding. No, but
yeah,
no, I'm grateful for that stuff. And I could throw movies into that too. Whatever it was that you had an escape. I could say rental stores, movie rental stores, dude. Dude, oh, I bet Todd and I are both grateful for rental stores.
oh God,
Oh,
man,
dude, so many
that was
great
my
times.
heaven, dude.
And it wasn't even like, dude, and we got to rent videotapes, and it's so funny because we just rented the same damn tapes over and over again a lot of times. And but it was so
Looking at the
great to
video game boxes too, like
oh yeah,
the old Sega Genesis boxes, just reading the
because
back, looking at the
that was
pictures.
way more rare is to get a
Yeah,
video game for my family because a movie I think my mom felt like a movie was more justified because everybody could watch it. I don't know what it was because it's really just us, but every now on a blue moon, man, I got to rent a video game and that was special. But honestly, it was just great. Yeah, looking at the laminates or the boxes, dude, and just dreaming about them. Like maybe someday I'll play this. Maybe
but
someday this is my dream.
you say that, but it was actually very rare to have the video game in stock when you went there, because when you went with your folks, it was like on the weekends when nothing
Hmm.
was in stock. So, um, yeah, I got like a handful of video games. We used to go to like a Sinclair, which is a gas station, and
Yeah,
rent video games and stuff like that. Very rarely, but yeah, man, I miss those days so much, man. It was so much fun.
it's just when you're a kid, everything is a new experience. So it's
Yeah.
like you just have so much to work with. Now it's like the older you get, it's harder and harder to find something you haven't seen or done or whatever. But when you're a kid, dude, you walk into a video store, especially in the pre-internet days, you have a treasure trove of movies you didn't even know existed for
Oh
crying out loud.
yeah.
You're just
Mhm.
looking at all these movies like, oh, you don't have streaming services. You're a kid of the 90s and you're looking at laminates for movies you can rent from a movie from the 70s, like way before you were born. Like, what's this? It's just
I used to go
not
into Suncoast, and I used to bring like a notebook, and
uh-huh.
I used to look at the horror movies that I wanted to. I couldn't buy them because they're so damn
But
expensive,
you
but
jot them down.
I jot them down of the ones I wanted to watch. Like, okay, someday I'm gonna watch this one, this one, this one, and I used to have like a page or two full of like movies that I would needed to rent if I can find them. But
Dude, I remember the biggest thing for me was like, dude, I just got to get to an arcade. I just want to play more Kombat 2 or Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Like these games I couldn't play at home, and I like that was the biggest thing. Like, oh, I just want to get to an arcade. And every time you saw an arcade anywhere else, like a gas station or a rental place or a bowling alley, you just gravitated toward like, can I please have a quarter? Can I please have a quarter? I want to play.
yeah,
Uh,
I used to go to the Sunday brunch or Sunday breakfast with my grandparents at a grocery store, and we used to run to the magazines, of course, and look at the Game Pros and write all the cheat
oh,
codes
the
down.
cheat codes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I
a friend of mine actually, we were just talking about this 3 or 4 days ago, and he actually saved up his money, and he used to take the magazines to the Xerox machine, like the copy machine, and he used to set them
yeah.
on there, and he used to copy all the pages.
That's so funny. I remember because I was guilty of too, taking a little pad, a little piece of paper, and a little
Yeah,
pen, and I'd write down the cheat codes and like tips and tricks.
we used to
But
open the plastic too, like, oh, this just somehow opened,
oh,
that sort of thing. It's like, whoops.
I never did that. But I if it was open, if it was just there, flip through, I would write down the codes, which I guess technically is cheating and stealing. Technically, kinda. I don't know. Is it? I don't know. I felt like that was the line I was skirting because I wasn't. But anyway, I remember one day I was like, I was looking at the magazines and I was like, oh, I want to go. It's like I want to. I don't remember if I was looking at it like I wanted to look at it or write it down. I was like, oh, Dad, can you remember this? Because it was how to unlock Goro
Oh,
in
okay.
Mortal Kombat 4, dude. It was in
Yeah.
like 1990. So I was like 12, and I remember it was like, "Hey,
Mhm.
Dad, can you remember this code?" And he just took them. He without even blinking or looking about it around, he just takes it and rips it out, puts it in his pocket. He just ripped out the page, and I remember I was like, "No, that's stealing. No." And I remember it was like, "No, I can't believe you're stealing that." And I remember I was just like Judasing him, like just like critiquing him the whole ride home. Like, "No, I can't believe you stole that." And I remember when I got home, he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll throw that shit away." And he flushed it. I'm like, no, wait. There's no reason for the code to go to waste if the damage is already done. And
That's like
he's
that's
like,
a
"No,
great
no."
memory, dude. Did he get rid
He's
of
like,
it?
"No, you've like, no, you've judged me one too many times, motherfucker."
So he got rid of it?
Yeah, he threw it away.
Oh,
Because I was being a little judgy McJudgerson, dude.
come on it, Aaron.
But
Jesus.
jump on it. Jump on. No, hey, Plemke in the chat's asking a really fun question. He's like, "Wait, you were British as a kid, Aaron? What's up with that voice?" LOL. Okay, so I'll tell you the story behind the voice. So this is another reason why this show is cool because we're just really being loose. That tells you how loose we're being because that's how we talk in private. Todd and I always do that stupid da. And I'll
Yeah.
tell you where it comes from. At least for me, it always goes back to Megadeth.
Dave Mustaine, yep.
It always goes back to this story in like a freshman year where we used to always make fun of Dave Mustaine because he was always like pissing in his cereal and crying about everything. And we had this like, I don't know, I think I painted this stupid image of him at the casino because Metallica, he's always going on and on about Metallica, how successful they are. He used to always have these funny quotes like, "I'm tired of everything they touch turn to gold and everything I do turn to shit." Like, God, dude, it was always like poor anyway. And I was like, "Oh, it's funny." It's like, I wonder if he's being driven mad right now that Metallica's on an arena tour and he's playing casinos. And then we're like, then we had this
Down to my
fantasy of
last
like him.
quarter.
Yeah, we had this fantasy of him sitting at a slot machine in between his sets, like, "Down to my last quarter, like make this one work. This can finally help me retire." And we just did that stupid voice and it's like stuck, dude. I don't know what it is.
My
And we
my wife can't stand it. She fucking hates it, dude. But
really
it's great. I love it. I love it,
do
dude.
you do it around her?
Yeah, she's like, "Okay, Aaron." Because she knows
See,
we do that voice when we talk to each other, dude.
I would have thought you wouldn't do it much because I don't think I do it. I don't really do it outside of our conversation. Why would I? That'd be kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe I do subconsciously. I'd have to ask her, Eva. But I know I make other voices, but I might do it actually. And I used to always do like the duh, it's the duh.
Yeah.
I remember you like, didn't you like used to like?
Andrew Dice Clay?
No, yeah. Maybe it's also kind of a stem from Andrew Dice Clay where it kind of morphed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so achoo. It's really
Yeah.
really funny, man. But
God bless you.
I love it. So that's where it comes from. So it's just a little language we have. And yeah, man. So that's duh. Anyway, now I feel kind of weird. I mentioned it earlier, so I guess I'll say it again. I guess I could say I'm grateful for all music, but no, fuck it. I'm gonna be real. I'm grateful for Metallica, man. I'm obsessed with Metallica, and they were like my Santa Claus, and they still are. And I'm gonna give it all to them because they're the reason why I love any music. To be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
And it's just fun to be a fan of something. I'm not really into sports or anything, so I think it's similar to how somebody likes watching the Chiefs or following
Mhm.
this sport team or this sport. Me, I like having my band. Like I love it, man. I love it following the tabs. Like I'll see him. I've seen him 10 times live. I'll see him many more if I can. I don't know. I love it, man. I just and it's just fun being part of a fandom. I don't know. It's fun
No,
being
I
part.
totally understand the music thing. It's definitely a mood shifter. That's what I love. Loving every type of music is great, man. Too. It's
No, I
like,
agree. But man, Metallica started all. I mean, like I listen to Glenn Campbell now, but I wouldn't even listen to Glenn Campbell if it wasn't for Metallica, man. I love it all. It
yeah.
doesn't matter. Did you have another thing that you wanted to go over?
My last thing would probably just be like, I don't know. It's gonna sound weird, but it has to do with. So I love sweating. I love sunshine, dude. I love sitting outside with a cold glass of iced tea
Sun
after
tea,
mow
man. Yeah, the
after
sun.
mowing the grass. No, I don't like sweet tea. I never like sweet tea. It's too much sugar and it's But man, something about that. I love the sunshine. I love getting fried. It
Yeah,
just
you're
makes me feel
weird.
good. It makes me feel good, man. It does. It's that
Fucking
vitamin D overload. That's what I want.
move to Arizona, dude. You'll be fucking baked. Go bake like a
Oh
you'll be
man.
Kramer, dude. When he's got the red skin, dude, with the restaurant next to him.
Hi, buddy. Yeah, he has
Yeah,
a yeah. When he turns into turkey, dude. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I've
man.
talked about it to the old lady, and she's brought it up many times too. So I
What,
will be
getting crisp?
retired. I
What,
will
coming
be
to
re-
Arizona getting crisp?
I, I will
Let's
be retiring there. I know that, Aaron. So if you're
there you
still
go.
there, I will be there.
Oh, I don't have any plans on moving. I'll
Okay.
tell you what though, everybody talks about you were talking about Georgia and Florida. I'm like, dude, I can't do. I went to Florida on vacation this summer. I'm like, dude, I'm not used to these bugs, these mosquito, and this getting because the sun is one thing, getting hot boxed with like the steam and the humidity. Not a fan.
I I love that too because I love the beach. I love the East Coast, but the wife loved Arizona. So
I love I love being close to relatively close to everything. We're only 4 hours from San Diego. So if you
yeah,
really
yeah,
want to take a weekend trip and see a beach, go to San Diego. You get a little bit,
yeah.
it's cool, man. But what I'm trying to say is fuck mosquitoes, man. I don't
Oh, I
I
hear you.
I
Yeah,
can't have a life with mosquitoes again, dude. I
I get. No, I
can't.
got you on that.
I came back so ate up in Florida, man, just all over my body, like itching, like having welts, dude. I I don't know, man, but I appreciate. Yeah, so out here, I'll say that too. I appreciate consistent weather because that's something I never had in the Midwest. Right? You pretty much get 2 seasons. You don't really get you're not really guaranteed a spring or a fall or much
No.
of anyone. It just goes from extreme humid, hot to like just fucking torrid winters and shit like that.
Yeah.
And Arizona, you just don't check the weather because more than likely what it's going to be, and kind of how hot it's going to be given the year. But and once you get to a certain temperature, hot is hot. Like 100 and 110 don't feel that
It's
much
all the
different.
same shit. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah, it's
matter.
when especially there's no humidity. But so I appreciate having the sun, but it also makes me really appreciate, dude. I love the back half. I love it, man. I don't like snow. I don't like any of that stuff. But I'm telling you, we're at the port of we're for the next 6 months. Yeah, probably 6 months. It's gonna be perfection. So like right now, we're like 70-degree highs. And
Yeah.
like I said, right now it's getting down into the 50s. It'll end up getting to a point where it's like 60-degree highs and maybe as low as 30 somethings. And then that's where it'll sort of cap and it'll
Hmm.
slowly kind of start creeping up. But we got about 6 months where it's just beautiful, man, where it's going to be like cool fall to spring weather. And then, of course, it'll get back into a summer. It'll just be hot. But I love it, man. I love taking walks. I couldn't do that in the snow, man. It take an hour to get all your boots and your gloves on and all that stuff. And just, I don't know. I
I
don't,
agree. I can't stand the cold, man.
I love it that we get this weather and the sun's still shining.
Yeah.
Right. And I always say it's like if you took a Polaroid of Arizona and the sky or whatever, you're not going to know if it's December or if it's July because the
Yeah.
sun's shining just as bright all the time and it's beautiful. And yeah, no, I just like not having to defrost my car and chip it off and have my digits go numb, dude. Harry, your hands are freezing.
Even if it's cold,
No,
I just need
thanks.
the sun, man. God, the sun just oh god, it makes me feel
But I'll
better.
tell you, what though, when I miss it, hour and a half north, I can go. I don't even have to go to Sedona. I could just go to Prescott or something. But an hour north, man, you saw it, the topography changes. You
Oh
start
yeah, yeah,
instantly going up in altitudes, and now you got the pine trees, go to Flagstaff. It's a
yeah.
winter wonderland up there. Just an
Hmm.
hour and a half north, and I could see that. We're actually going to take a day trip probably in a couple weeks and go see the snow, and you can get it, and you don't have to live in it. So, but yeah, so that was your last one. I guess then I'm going to say my last one. My last one, because he's here, I'm going to say I'm grateful for Todd because
Oh god,
the
you're making
older
me
we
feel
get,
bad.
now I know because you blanketed me with a whole fucking group.
I
I'm
said
grateful for
friends.
my friends and not even like the friends. I'm grateful for my groups. I have the friends who like the movies. I got the friends who like the sports. I'm somewhere in there.
I'm sure
I,
you have.
I'm,
I'm sure you have those too.
I know, but that's not what I said. Here's why I'm grateful for you because the older we get, as you guys know, um, yeah, people get lives. Most of your friends are kind of like people of the past. And I know me, I moved to a new state as an adult, which, I wasn't in school or anything. So it's like, it's really tough to make friends when you're an adult. So,
Oh, absolutely.
especially in my case, moving to a new place where I had no roots, who are my friends? My work friends. You
Yeah.
have work friends, but it's a little different. And I'm just glad that I have friends. I have friends that I've had for certain years and that I've held on to. And even like our buddy Travis, he'll always be a friend, but
Yeah.
I don't talk to Travis, very much or
Yeah.
whatever. I would love to, but it's kind of nice to have a constant, right?
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
cool. And it's like I feel very lucky for that because I feel like I
Oh,
mean
you
my
gotta
dad didn't.
stop. You gotta stop.
No,
Just
I'm just
kidding.
saying, like, my
I'm
parents
just
didn't have
joking,
that. They would
dude.
always they would always talk about their glory days of high school and stuff. "You remember that guy? You remember Rusty? You remember that guy? Oh, yeah, that,"
Yeah.
like, yeah, they didn't talk to these people anymore. They always made friends with their jobs, and they would get new jobs, and those friends would be gone, and
Yeah.
they would just get recycled. They didn't ever carry on, and so, I'm just glad that I have a constant. It's pretty cool. Someone that
No, absolutely.
I can have a streaming show with, and we could talk about this stuff,
Yeah.
and have these memories. It's pretty cool, man. So,
No, I agree.
um, I'm not greedy. I don't really need any more. So, that's fine. But yeah, that's it. And like I said, I kind of wish I closed on you guys in the podcast. So, but I want to thank everybody for listening. And hopefully there's things that you guys are grateful for. And like I said, I wanted to do something like this because, dude, it's the holidays, man. The holidays are tough and they're tough on a lot of people. And um, even if you have loved ones and stuff like that, they're tough. It's stressful financially,
Yep.
obligations, work. All I know is even if I have some gripes, I'm in a pretty good place right now. But it wasn't that long ago where I was working the shit jobs that I had to work the holidays and I was having to work all the time because I didn't have the family. I spent 6 Christmases alone, it's
Oh,
not,
yeah. Yeah.
I just, and, I understand, man. Depression's real, and you know,
Gotta keep grinding, man.
you got to keep grinding. And you guys have family with the Revival House, right? We're here, and but like I
Absolutely.
said, pay attention to what you got. Don't let the clutter and the traffic of life just fog your brain, man, and make you miss out on it because life is a beautiful thing, right? And if it's not so beautiful at the moment, it can be beautiful, man. I hate to hear about these people that hurt themselves because it's the cliche, right? It's a permanent solution to temporary problems. It's just in the moment, people that are feeling like that, you can't reason with them because you wouldn't be able to reason with me. I know how I feel, like I know how it is. And it's just one of those things where you wish you could find those people when they're having that moment of darkness and you could just fucking chain them to tie them up like Uncle Eddie and bring them home and just
Yeah.
keep a watch on them through the night because it's almost like the werewolf effect. I bet you the next morning they'll be like, "Oh man, I don't know what came over me." The full moon's gone, and you just got to make it another day because eventually, if you can just make it another day and another day and another day, you're one step closer, hopefully, to finding whatever it is that gives you meaning. Whether that's meeting somebody, whether that's finding a passion, whether it doesn't matter. Just you can't throw in the towel.
And you
So
and you also can't stress about shit you can't control either. I
that's
mean,
that's the
on
big
the
one.
even on the global level, everything's so political now. That don't fucking stress about that shit. That's I mean,
What
think about yourself. You got to worry about yourself. So
What the great James Hetfield once said, grammatically incorrectly, "What don't kill you make you more strong." The world's getting tougher. Inflation is shitty.
yeah.
I can tell you honestly, man. I've watched over the last 2 years, 3 years, my bottom line gets smaller and
Oh yeah.
smaller
Yeah.
because the cost of living's going nuts, and what I'm getting as far as increase is not matching it. So it's just you have to adapt. You
You
have to
can't let that
adapt.
shit
Just
break you.
go
Yeah.
out and vote locally, whatever it is you got to do that's going to help your bottom line. But even then, exercise your rights to do that. But then outside of that, it's out of your control. You got to roll with it. You got to deal with it, dude. If this whole world got taken over by Skynet Terminators, I want to be in the resistance. I'm not going to roll over
Oh,
and die.
absolutely.
I'm going to like watch my house and everything I ever owned burn, and I'm going to live in the trenches, taking orders from John Connor, whatever, dude, drinking my own piss to survive. I'm going to be that guy. I want to be a survivor, man. 100%.
Yeah.
So we're not going to ramble anymore. Thank you so much. Hopefully, if you guys are watching this live, which you guys all are, have a happy Thanksgiving and don't be a stranger. And you guys today I posted last week's episode for anybody that missed it last week. It's on YouTube. And then part 2 is going to go up, I believe, tomorrow. I was going to post it on Thanksgiving, but I don't know if that's a good day to post stuff, the actual Tarantino tier list, or if I should post it tomorrow, but that's coming really soon. And yeah, man, check us out. Every Tuesday we're doing stuff like this. Please, if you like it, like the video. If it's on YouTube, leave us a comment to help us out with interaction algorithms. Subscribe, notification bell. We're on twitch.tv/Revival House. Listen to our podcasts. We got Zach and Matt got the Kane Gang and the Kane Gang, and then we got BTM podcast, of course. We got the commentaries. We got Zach and I tomorrow. As of this recording, we are recording a Cinema Enema. We are going to be doing Dolores Claiborne. So
nice. Cool.
the patrons can come and listen to us do that live, and that'll obviously be up in the coming week or two. We got a whole plethora of content for anybody that's not familiar with us, so please take some time, check it out, and yeah, man, buy a t-shirt. We got Teesprings, we got Patreons, we got all the whole hoopla. But we'll check in with you guys next week.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Bye.